Hello, the Coastal and Heartland National Estuary Partnership is proud to share this video update of our work to support Lee County's water and wildlife protection efforts. First, just a little bit about the CHNEP for those of you who may not be familiar with us. We were formed back in 1995 when Congress designated estuaries and their watersheds from Donna Bay to Estero Bay in Southwest Florida as estuaries of national significance. As a result, we were folded into the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's National Estuaries Program. We are one of 4 National Estuary Program organizations in Florida and one of 28 in the United States. As such, we're receiving annual federal funding from Congress to assist in the protection and restoration of water resources and wildlife habitat in the CHNEP area. CHNEP covers more than 5,000 square miles, encompassing 10 counties and 25 plus cities. Lee County sits at the bottom of our service area, encompassing the Coosawhatchee. The CHNEP exemplifies the power of partnerships as a private-public partnership that is science and consensus-based, non-regulatory, and citizen-supported. Because of private and non-federal governmental contributions, volunteers, and donated in-kind services, we've been able to provide $19 worth of restoration for every dollar of federal funding we receive. We greatly appreciate Lee County's continued active participation and financial support towards contributing to the partnership. All of our work supports our collective comprehensive conservation and management plan, the 5-year organizational strategic plan collectively drafted by all of our partners. The CCMP has 4 action plans focused on water quality improvement, hydrological restoration, fish, wildlife, and habitat protection, and public engagement. You should have received a mail copy of this coffee table style book, but please let us know if you'd like additional copies. And it is also electronically available on the CHNEP.org website. It is an excellent resource and reference on the natural resource and resource management needs in our region. CHNEP is aiding Lee County in the implementation of the Lee Plan, including Lee County's efforts to manage estuaries for maintaining and improving water quality for the benefit of people, wildlife, and the environment in Lee County. One such project the CHNEP funds annually is collecting all publicly accessible water quality data and putting it on a web-based public website with analytical tools and other resources to assist water managers and interested public stakeholders in accessing and interpreting information about local water quality conditions. This site is being continually upgraded and expanded and requires more than $50,000 annually to maintain. Additionally, CHNEP is working to aid Lee County's efforts to protect its wetlands, hydrologic systems, and water resources for water resource availability, native habitats, plant and animal diversity, and other natural surface water characteristics. One such surface and groundwater project CHNEP funds is the Charlotte Harbor Flatwoods Hydrologic Restoration Initiative, covering most of Charlotte and portions of Lee counties, including the Cecil Webb and Yucca Pens Wildlife Reserves, as well as numerous creeks that flow into the eastern Charlotte Harbor and Coosawhatchee estuaries. This data collection and modeling effort will produce a hydrological restoration planning tool for resource management agencies as to how they can safely restore flows while maintaining flood protection for existing communities. The CHNEP is devoting over $500,000 to this project. Another project CHNEP will be funding this coming year is the restoration of the Pine Islands Flatwoods Preserve, a 919-acre passive recreation area that supports 134 wildlife species. CHNEP will be contributing $86,000 towards the hydrological restoration of this Lee County Conservation 2020 program public property. Additionally, the CHNEP is funding and overseeing the South Lee County Watershed Initiative Hydrologic Modeling Project, which encompasses the Estero River, Spring Creek, and Imperial River watersheds that all flow out into the Estero Bay Aquatic Preserve. CHNEP is providing more than $195,000 towards data analysis and modeling to develop a science-based surface groundwater hydrological restoration planning tool that will complement the county's stormwater wet season modeling in providing dry season water levels and flows that are needed to support natural systems. Another way the CHNEP is working to protect wetlands and other environmentally sensitive areas in Lee County has been to provide economic data showing the positive economic benefits from doing so. This past year, CHNEP contracted economists to complete an in-depth study to determine the economic value of natural resource protection and management in the CHNEP area. They collected and analyzed copious amounts of economic data across multiple sectors to tease out only those that were directly tied to natural resources. And they determined that natural resources in the CHNEP area more than $13.6 billion of annual economic output, generating $3.8 billion in regional income and $146 million in local and state tax revenue. This in turn supports over 148,000 jobs annually, more than the entire company of Google. Looking specifically at Lee County, we see that the primary economic drivers are tourism, followed by agriculture, commercial fishing, and ecological restoration. Lee County itself generates $7.12 billion in economic benefits, $5.002 billion in property value premiums, $49.3 million in agricultural production, as well as other economic revenues. The Caloosahatchee River Basin also was primarily driven by the tourism and agricultural sectors. And these are the results for the Caloosahatchee: $2.82 billion in economic benefits, $2 billion in property value, $2.04 million in fishing production, as well as other revenue streams tied to natural resource protection and management. We also have additional figures for the Pine Island Matlacha Basin and the Acero Bay Basin, which you can find in the full report on the CHNEP.org website. Finally, the CHNEP is aiding Lee County's efforts to promote the conservation of wildlife and endangered and threatened species. CHNEP recently hired a team of environmental experts to create a master habitat restoration needs plan for the region, compiling all existing habitat plans and integrating climate science on habitat migration to identify areas needed to preserve important wildlife habitat now and into the future. The private habitat preservation conservation opportunity areas are outlined in blue, and you can see that when they're combined with the existing public management restoration areas outlined in green on the map here, they create landscape level habitat corridors and areas that are needed to sustain our native wildlife. Zooming into the Caloosahatchee Harbor Basin, you can see in the left map all the privately owned preservation conservation opportunities in blue, including native and non-native habitats that are essential for wildlife. On the right map are publicly owned areas in green with over 60,000 acres of non-native habitat that are suitable for enhancement and restoration to improve their habitat values. We additionally have the habitat restoration needs for other Lee County basins, again, including the Pine Island Matlacha Basin and the Acero Bay, in the full report on the CHNEP website for this. CHNEP is working in numerous areas within Lee County to further environmental awareness and to protect natural resources. On top of the projects we've already discussed, we're working to restore and quantify the nutrient removal efficiency of seagrasses, to track cyanobacteria and mitigate its harmful impacts, and to provide information to the public. Finally, just want to say that your participation is essential in helping us to understand how to best serve your needs. The CHNEP has a policy committee of appointed agency officials and elected leaders, a management committee of staff directors and lead staff, a citizens advisory committee of community leaders, and a technical advisory committee of technical staff and scientists. Each of these committees meets 3 times a year, and currently Lee County has a representative on each of these committees. Thank you so much. We very much appreciate Lee County's involvement in the CHNEP partnership. If you'd like to find out more information about us, please go to our website, chnep.org, or you can also email us, and feel free to always reach out to me personally. Again, my name is Jennifer Hecker, the Executive Director of the Coastal and Heartland National Estuary Partnership. Thank you.